Dear participants, Sir is going to present his technical session 2 of day 4, Azure IoT Hub Components. Now I request Dr. Kanaga Chidambaresan sir to take the technical session 2 of day 4, Azure IoT Hub Components. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think everybody was sticking on with my session, and none of them were sleeping. Whether it is interesting or not, I would like to know. Or else should I change the presentation pattern, or should I go for more theory-oriented concepts, or something? If you just tell me, I can able to address from your point of concept and what your expectation is. Really, that would be good. Okay, so let me check first my side. Any suggestions like how to do or something?
Sir.
Yeah. Yes.
We are very much interested in your session, because in most of the sessions in earlier, we have demo session only at evening, but right from the morning you are playing with so many interfaces. Really, it is amazing. We are expecting the same thing from your technical session 2 also.
Okay, then I will give in the same manner. Okay, let me go. Hi. Many libraries has been advanced right now, so I have some problem with programming. Okay. Okay, yeah, this thing works well. Yeah, is my screen visible? No. Okay.
No, sir. No.
Yeah.
Now it is visible, sir.
Okay. Okay, guys. Let me show you another demonstration. Very simple demonstration. I hope you all know what is a relay board. Okay, you know what is a relay board? A relay is a device which relay is nothing but a digital switch. Okay, so what the relay do is, the relay will be something like this. Normally, how you switch on a lamp? Lamp will be here, and it will be connected to some power supply. So whatever may be the power supply, DC or AC, something, there will be a switch. If you want to turn on the lamp, you switch on and the lamp glows. This is the very simple principle. Instead of this switch, I put a device called relay, which is nothing but which nothing but acts like a digital switch. When I give 1, it switches on. When I give 0, it switches off. Okay, so this is the very simple principle of relay, and I will show you how a relay will look like. Okay, this is a relay board. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a 4-channel relay. You can able to operate 4 relays. 1, 2, 3, 4. For any device, any 230 volt supply can be operated with this device. So this is an 230 volt 5 amps relay. Okay. So in order to operate this, you don't want any big expertise. Like you don't want to know 5 years course on electrical engineering, or 6 years course on computer science, or something. What you want to know is only simple logic. Let me teach you the simple logic. 5 volt 0 volt. Okay, 5 volt is logic 1 computer science, 0 volt is 0. Okay, to be more precise, what we have is anything above 3.3 volt is considered as 5 or 1. Anything below 3.3 volt is considered as logic 0. Okay, I hope you all know what is the voltage, and I think you all know what is battery and blah blah things. Okay, in order to operate this relay, you have three pins here. Normally, this relay board has two terminals. One is normally closed, normally open. Okay, normally it will be open. When you give some input, it closes, it operates. Okay, this is normally it will be closed. When you give some input, it opens. Like this procedure is mainly used for industries. This procedure is mainly used for household application. Okay, so let me operate this for you with programming. If time permits, I will operate some motor or something for you. Okay, I think you can see the bulb blinking here. Okay, it means the relay is in on condition, and this is the processor. This is the processor. This is the processor thing what you are seeing. Let me program it and show it to you. Clear Python import rpi.gpio as gpio. Import time gpio dot set board. This is the 40th pin. Program. Okay. I hope now it is visible. This is the 40th pin. You can see the wire coming out. Only 3 wires I have given. One is positive, one is ground, and another one is input. Okay. Input is given as 40th pin. Okay. So that is what I am writing in the program. I am configuring the 40th pin as output. Integer is required. Okay. I think previously I have written the code. Why I should bother with this? Okay, so a simple program: import rpi.gpio as gpio, set mode gpio board 40 gpio.out. Okay, height. Okay, so let me execute this code. Please keenly watch this demonstration. You can able to see. It switched off. After 20 seconds, it will come back. Now it is blinking. Can you see? Okay, let me change the value so that you can observe it quite fast. 3. When you write it in some Java or something, it will take years together to write this code. But thanks to Python, what happened? Okay, let me check. I think some tab issue. Okay, please wait. Let me check. I think some loose connection is there. Okay. You see, when I give high, it goes low. It is under not logic. Okay. When I give low, it comes high. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Hello.
Sir, yes, sir.
Hi. So when I give low, it comes high. When I give high, it comes low. Okay. So I think you can able to see, because due to this fan sound, the triggering thing is not being seen. So today I will also show you okay, some induction problem is there. I'll check. Okay, so I think you have seen this. Okay, so let me show you this much complication, programming complication, how to reduce this much programming complication with a single boot computer. Okay, so later we will see how to deploy this in a cloud environment, so that the cloud takes care of all these things, and there is no need for any physical resource to be here. Okay, so let me start this. Okay, so before going inside this, let me introduce you what is meant by Node-RED. You guys know what is Node-RED? Okay, so Node-RED is an IBM-based programming language which you can able to do drag and drop based programming. Okay, so very simple. Don't want to go for very big logics and other things. It's quite simple. That is what we are going to see now. A programming screen is not clear. Okay, sorry. Next time I will just make it clear. Okay, so this is the Node-RED software, and in order to install it, you want to type simple command that apt-get install Node-RED. It mainly works on Linux-based machines, so that's why I told you to go for Linux-based machines. Okay, Control C. Okay, so how to install and pull the dockers and other things will be given in this. In order to start the Node-RED, you want to simply type this command called Node-RED start. Okay, so then the Node-RED will start, and you can able to see the Node-RED server in my desktop. Okay, so when Node-RED starts, this is the simple this is how it will look like. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to make a dashboard. You know what is meant by dashboard? Dashboard is mainly used for industries. You see, they make a very big screen dashboard in order to monitor their production, monitor their things, sensor data, blah 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 things and other things. So in order to create this dashboard, how you gonna create this dashboard is what I'm going to teach you right now with Node-RED. Okay, so in order to go inside this, the address is something like this. Okay, so 192.168.0.101 is my IP. So if you connect your Raspberry Pi, this will differ. Okay, this will differ. After that, you want to place 1880. Okay, when I copy paste it, you can able to see this thing. Okay, so right now I have not programmed anything. So let me program it for you. Inject. Okay. Text. Sorry. Yeah. Text. Okay. So previously we were writing many lines. Let me just attach it. Give some done and give some done and deploy. Now it is programmed inside this machine, not in my system. Okay. Now what you're going to see is the timestamp. Okay. So 192.168.0.101 /UI, enter. What you see is the text. So when I inject, you can see the value. This is the mechanical clock time. Okay, the crystal clock gives this data. In order to repeat it, you can repeat interval for every second. It will get repeated. Let me deploy it. In order to make Python program, you want to write many while loop statements and for loop statements. You can see the mechanical clock running ahead. Can you see it? Can you guys see it? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sir, yes, sir, audible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So in order to make this to a readable format, let me write a very small function for it. Function. Double click. Message dot payload is equal to new space date dot to local time string. This should be working. Then deploy. Okay, what do you see now? 11:47:53. Okay, it's working fine. Okay, can you get it? If you want to write it in normal Python, it takes years for you to write this. Let me put it to another level for you. Let me put an gauge. Let me put a slider. Done. Done. I'm connecting slider to the gauge. Now deploy. You must be seeing a gauge. Yeah. And time is also running. You can see it. And when I slide the gauge, you can see. Instead of this slider, you can connect it with some data, some sensor data. That will also demonstrate. I will demonstrate if time permits. Let me put an switch. Okay. This should be running here. Where is it? Okay, it comes here. I attach, and as I said, I configure it for the 40th pin. This is the GPIO. GPIO is nothing but general purpose input and output. Okay. Deploy. Okay. Deploy. So here, what you want to see here is okay. Now you can see a switch. When I toggle a switch, you can see. I think you can also hear the relay triggering sound. So let me keep my headset. Can you hear the sound? Hello. Okay. So let me just make this thing more interesting. So my okay, I got some message. Let me write some, open some thing. I'll connect my mobile phone. What you see? Hello. Yeah. Let me connect my mobile phone to the same network, and I will go inside the same IP. .1 slash UI. You can see the same screen in my mobile. Can you see it? I didn't do any magic. You can see the same screen here, and let me toggle. This toggling of this switch is reflected all around. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. So let me connect some wires if possible. I don't have it right now. If some load is there, I can able to connect. Okay. So in order to, for example, let me put this. Are you guys following me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. I hope these things are new to you because it is a very, very latest concept. And for example, a manager is there and worker is there. So two worker is there. So all will be interfaced with the same IoT device, and I can able to see, the manager can able to see who switched on the device and who switched off the device, and when was it switched off or when was it switched on, and who made mistake and who has done it right. All data log can be generated with this simple small single board computer. Okay, let me show you how to make data analytics with this stuff. Okay, so let me put it to a file. File name demo .txt or a DAT file. Let me create a DAT file. Let me connect this here. If I just deploy, it should start working. Yeah, it is programmed successfully. Now you should see a file called DAT file somewhere here. Yeah, you can see demo.dat. This demo.dat is created right now, just right now. Okay. You can see the mechanical time. Sorry, I programmed it wrongly. So this link should come after this. Now you can able to see right program. Successfully deployed. Let me check it once again. You can see. Can you see it? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Please respond, or else is very new, interesting. Yeah. Oh, you guys are just in chat. Okay. So this is only 32 GB. So let me stop this. Instead, it will be just keep on putting this inside my file. If it is only with the local drive, let me put it to a cloud now. I think you all know what is cloud as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. So let me put it as an infrastructure software to service. I can also put it to Google Sheet. I want to make some configuration with it. Let me just show you what are all the availabilities here. Let me put it to some Firebase. I think Firebase is not here. You can able to put it in mail. You can able to mail someone. Mail, yeah, you can able to send mail, but at this time you cannot able to send mail. Let me show you how to configure mail when you want to make things with thin client. Okay, so from to address should be given. After giving, you want to go to your Google account. Less secure apps. Okay, you want to go inside this. After programming, you want to click it on, then only your Raspberry Pi will start sending emails from your thing. Okay, so once I click the less secure and apps, you can immediately see some mail coming to my mail ID. Sorry. Critical security app alert is being sent. Okay, so no problem with this. This thing will not destroy your stuff. Let me switch it off. So otherwise your server will not accept the mail from low authenticated devices. Okay, Raspberry Pi is one of the low authenticated device. In order to make it more high authenticated device, you want to spend something more, 5,000 or 6,000 more than that, and you want to buy a new Raspberry Pi called Raspberry Pi 4 8 GB. It's something like 8,000 rupees, and it can literally replace your system. So the system what you're having, but it is Linux friendly stuff. You want to be a full Linux user, even printouts and other things and all Zoom applications, everything should be Linux based in order to work with this stuff. Okay, so you can also put it in spreadsheet. Let me make it more interesting. You can also run other programs from this guy. Okay, so I think you shell not taken shell. I actually forget. Since I work with yeah, you can also put the delays. It should be here. If time is there, I will give you some image processing. I'll show you. I will also show you image processing based application. Okay. Let me put a chart for you. I think in order to design this, your students will be taking at least some 6 months as a project time. Okay, so there is no need for such a huge time for them. If you just teach something good, interesting technologies, they can make a good projects within a smaller time. Within a smaller time, so that you can able to have a very big project. Yeah, here it is. One more thing I want is switch. Having it right here. Right. Switch. Okay. Okay. So let me show you one program. This. chart. First, let me program until this limit, then we will go for the next level. Okay. Now, okay. So you see graph coming out of it. Can you see it? Instead of this graph, as I just shown you in the morning, if I just connect it with this data, you can able to see when what time people has come, what time this thing has switched on, what time it was happening. So instead of this, you can also able to put it configure with this sensor. I think today morning I have configured it with this sensor and shown you the output. Okay, and this is the board what I have designed on my own for IoT application. It is size than less than size of one hand, and you can also just get it from my company. I own a company actually. You can also get it from it, and you can simply connect your sensors and program it like this, so that your project will be very easy and smooth going. So this PCB designs also will be covered in some of my how to design a small PCB in a name point of view. So in a beginner point of view, you can able to see how to design some PCB boards and how to make it more effective. That I'll show you in this presentation. I think this was working. So here, exit. So the command what I want to execute is python space demo.py. So I think the demo program what I think you all remember what is the demo program that I did. Okay, so let me deploy it. What I am trying to say is you can also start calling other programs from this interface. I think it should be working. Some loose connection will be there. Okay, so there is a capacity to call other programs also, but PID, you can see at what ID it is executing. Since my the devices I'm using it daily and it is at least 1 year old, it is making some problem. Okay. Check. Yeah. Okay. It works. Okay. Somehow it works, but I want to fine tune my program to some level. I hope you guys are following me and understanding what I'm doing. Hello. I think you guys are following me and understanding what I'm doing. It is not just like magic I'm doing. It is all a very easy concepts, and you can also able to acquire some of these concepts and create good things to your students. Okay. I think you can able to see the click sound when I make it work. Okay. So this is a simple presentation what I was trying to give a demonstration. Let me go to the slide again. Is IoT a part of your syllabus? You have IoT stuff in your syllabus? I sincerely recommend you guys to go with IoT because it is having a very good future, and you can also hire some of the electronics guys who are available in market to teach them. Please make some course electives or program electives or some electives or some crash course for your students so that they can able to learn more of these concepts. For PG students you have. Okay, but I don't know how far they are working with electives, and because you guys will not be having an exposure to these sort of electronics items, because these electronics items and sensors are the data gatherers. Okay, so these electronics items and sensors what you are seeing is the data gatherers because when the input is clean, you can able to make a very good machine learning prediction. Okay, so instead of working and cleaning data with machine learning algorithm, what you can able to do is you can start using good predictions, good input. Your students can literally start getting new what is it, new experience out of sensors and other things, and they can able to generate data for their own project. Okay. Okay, this is what we call as Node-RED. This is the Node-RED demonstration what I have shown you right now. Let me go to okay. Okay. So what are all the do's and don'ts in your single board computer? What you should do and what you should not do. So before just getting these devices, you want to go through the catalog, how to work, how to install, thoroughly learn all these things. Sorry, thoroughly learn all these things before starting an application. Okay, because these things are electronics and might spoil your computer or memory or RAM. I just burnt a couple of RAMs in my laptops connecting spoiled sensors and faulty sensors. Okay, if you connect some faulty sensors, it might spoil your RAM or even your CPU sometimes. Occasionally, it happens only once in thousands or once in 10,000. Okay, so don't afraid of it. If you take some risk only, then only you can able to achieve something. So power constraint is the main thing. You cannot able to connect some 100 device with this. You cannot able to connect some 100 device with this. There is some limitation. The limitations you should follow perfectly in order to make a good project. Okay, so in order to know limitations, you want to have a hands-on session, like how to work with these things. And it is not like an lift operating or suddenly you can switch it off, switch it on. You want to have a perfect switch on and switch off mechanism. How to switch it off, how to switch it off on, because it works on operating systems. Okay, so you want to shut down these devices in a proper manner so that you can able to make good use of it. Don't connect too many sensors and avoid loose connections. Okay, these are all the important things that you want to know. Okay, so let me show you what is the thin client and the thick client. I hope you know this meme. The first meme is like a happy wife, fat wife carrying her husband, and second is the fat wife crushing her husband. This is the concept called a thin client and the thick client. You know what is a thin client? How many of you know thin client? Please put it in the chat so that let me check what is your idea about the thin client and the thick client. If you have any practical experience, you can put it. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Thin client, thick client. You can Google it up. And meanwhile, and tell me. But I want a layman answer. How a layman understands. Okay. So okay, let me explain you what is a thin client. So I have a mobile in my hand. Okay, so when I have my mobile in my hand, I can able to check my Google Gmail. I can able to go to the app called Google Chrome and open mail.google.com and check my mail. One more easy option is I can simply go to Gmail app and check my mail. Okay, so when you are checking your mail from this point of view, it is a thick line concept. Okay, your server will not know that you are using a small yeah. Let me come to this example first. When you are opening it from your Gmail app, the Google server knows that you are using Samsung J7 Max mobile phone. J7 Max mobile phone, and it sends all the templates as per the mobile phone format and the duty of the mobile phone is to only receive the data and display the data. It does not process the data. Okay, but if you are just opening your mailbox from Google Chrome app, what does it do is the server does not know that you are using a Samsung mobile. It sends the raw data, and it is your duty of the mobile phone to process the data and display as per the display requirements of the mobile. Okay, so let me put on a task before you. We start using please let me explain you. The thing is, if you start using your Gmail from your Google Chrome app, you can able to observe more amount of energy being spent by your mobile. Your mobile phone energy will drain soon. But if you are using to open your Gmail from your Gmail app in your mobile phone, what happens is you can able to see extensive lifetime from your mobile phone. This is a very simple example of a thin client and thick client. Okay, thin client in the sense it has very low energy, it has very low computational facility, it has very low communication facility. Thick client is permanently powered. So, say example system, CPU, supercomputers are thick clients, whereas the single board computers, these boards what I'm having right now is are called as thin clients. Okay, so how to program a thin client? Okay, I think everybody knows C programming. Is anyone from other disciplines, mechanical, civil, or something? I hope everybody is from the. Hello, you guys are watching my screen. So sorry, I should be displaying it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I was talking with the system. Sorry. Okay. So this is what the thin client and the thick client is considered. Client. Okay. Let me put a C program before you, and I will ask you some question. Okay. Or you just remove the header files and other things. I equal to 0. Do you have computer architecture in your syllabus? Hello. How many of you learned computer architecture or at least microprocessor? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Then somebody is responding. Then what is it? I plus plus should come now. Okay. So let me print f printf or printf statement hello Atal guys. कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? Okay, let me. Okay, so this thing will execute, na? Okay, this will surely execute if you put some proper header file. I equal to 10. I not equal to 0. I minus minus. Printf same. Okay, so what is the unable to see the code? Sorry. What about now? Hello, is it visible now? Hello.
Sir, yes, sir, visible, sir.
Code is visible, na?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me make it more bright. So what is the difference between the two loops? Hello. Hello. Okay, this will execute for 10 times. Say 10 times. This will execute for how many times? 10 times. So what is the difference between these two loops? Both will print for 10 times. Okay. So what is the difference between these two loops? 1 minute, guys. I got some call. Okay. The first loop will execute for 0 to 9, totally 10 equivalent loops. Yeah, equivalent loops. So what do you prefer? Which loop you prefer? Both do the same work, but which one you will prefer and which one should be preferred by students? That's my question. Execution structure is different, blah blah blah. Okay, first. Okay, first. Yes. Any more answers? First. Normally you are CSE peoples. That's why you all prefer first. Okay. So the problem with you all guys is you all are software guys. Okay. So there is also you also learn computer organization and architecture. So computer hardware is also a subject there you want to concentrate. Since this hardware stuff gives very low opportunities, people fail to read hardware and they give low importance to hardware. Okay, so let me explain you the first loop and second loop. Here, let me cut this first so I have some space to explain. Here, two memory spaces will be allocated. One for I equal to 0, another for I equal to 10. Okay, am I right? So in order to execute this loop, you want two memory spaces. In order to execute this loop, you want only one memory space for storing I equal to 10. I not equal to 0 will be taken care by a flag called carry flag or 0 flag. In computer hardware, there is a flags. I think you have learned it in your microprocessor system, microprocessor or computer organization architecture, carry flag, 0 flag, non-zero flags, and other things. Instead of I not equal to 0, it will go for a carry flag or 0 flag. It will check the existing available resource, and you can able to save one memory if you try to execute all your for loops with the second program. You understand? You see how many for loops and computer will be doing in a small application. For example, if you are using an image processing application, you think how many for loops it will be handling. And since you guys are doing with thick client, you don't work with warnings. For example, int a comma b comma c, and you program b a equal to a plus b, and you execute print a. You execute this in a C code. What it does, it gives warning that C is not used, but still the system executes. Okay. So the problem here is you don't care about the warnings when you come to a thick client, but you want, if you just try to execute this code in a thin client, it will not execute. It will always show error. Why? Because you have spoiling a memory. This will happen. Okay. So only it works with not equal to stuff. Okay. When it is not equal to, it works. So if it is greater than, if it is a comparison statement, it will not work. Please check it with some let us see or put with C. Some books are available to explain this. And mainly, yeah, Embedded Primer. Embedded Primer is the book what you want to stick with this thing. Okay. Embedded Primer book facilitates you how to program a computer in having hardware as keeping hardware in mind. Hello. Yeah, I think you guys are listening. At least let me. Okay. So coming to the concept. So this is what the thin client and the thick client do. You want to be aware of how to program the logic stuffs. Okay, how to program logic stuffs and other things. After going through this, computer organization and architecture, if you really love and read it, you want to program in the negative manner, like decrement stuffs. Okay. What are the temperatures that are sensors that are available? Temperature, RFID, barcode, proximity, vision, gyroscope, compass, tilt, acceleration sensors, etc., etc. So these are all the present available sensors in market for inside a mobile phone maximum. You want to know how to program all these sensors, like how to program each and every sensor. You also have fingerprint sensor in some cases. You want to know all these sensors, and this is the device done by me in order to read 16 sensors. You can able to read 16 data out of this. Let me show you if time permits. We have enough time now, sir. When I should cut the session?
Sir, actually our technical session 2 will end at 1 p.m.
Right.
You can permit the participants can raise their questions from 12:50 onwards, if it is nice. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let me show you something now. What is it? Yeah, I think I should go here. I think this screen. I should come with this screen.
Sir,
Yeah. Yes.
there is a question. In second case, if I write 1 greater than or equal to 0,
I responded, sir. I just spoke. If it is a comparison statement, both are same.
okay,
So expression is same, and normally we don't go with comparison stuff. Okay,
Okay.
because if greater than or equal to two conditions, it should check. So it takes more time, computational time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so try to learn a lot on programming, and uh, be more precise on programming when it comes to this category. When I cut this, I don't know how I will manage this. Let me check the possibility. This demonstration, I have made it ready for the evening session. Okay. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the 16 channel sensor. You can able to connect 16 different sensors with this. Okay, so this board is capable to attract 16 sensors. Let me plug the wire before you to. In many workshops, people don't believe me unless and until they see, and they feel that I am making some something. I'm showing something and I'm making something. Okay, you can able to see 1023 here. What is it? Yeah, 1023 here. When I unplug, it goes random value. In order to avoid random value, you want to know what is white Gaussian noise. I think you all know what is how to work with mathematics. I think you all know how to work with mathematics. And you can see when I just touch the adjacent pins, okay, when I move with one pin to other pin, you can able to see the channel also moving. You can able to, this small device can able to power entire 16 sensors, and you can able to monitor 16 different parameters across your environment. Okay, this is what I am trying to say. These are all random data. What you are seeing, no, what you have seen is a random data. You should know how to clear random data. White Gaussian noise. You must have, you have mathematics, probability, and statistics or random process. Hello. Hello. Do you have mathematics in your class subject? You don't learn mathematics? Yes, is that. How many mathematics you learn actually? What are all the list of subjects or something? Please tell me. You guys are MCA, MSc guys, na? MCA, MSc faculties. So you will be teaching BSc program, MSc program, and MCA program. Am I right? So that's what the target audience was told to me. Saktival sir, is that right? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, you're also teaching BE CSE. Okay, good. So CSE participant is also there. So I think you might be seeing um, sensors right now. This sensor will give you analog data. So in order to process the analog data, you want Fourier transform. You want to know Fourier. So the device what I showed you, here, this device will be giving you random noise. In order to avoid the random noise, you should be knowing probability and random process. And in order to schedule these devices, you want to know queuing models. So all the mathematics what you learn can be directly incorporated, or you can directly test it with these kits. Okay. So I think you all know how you have come to know what is the real application of mathematics. So this is the real example of mathematics and where you're able to use mathematics for your applications. Okay, that was Arduino based. And let me show you another demonstration. Okay, so here comes the new concept called MQTT. Okay, so what is MQTT is nothing but message queuing, telemetry, and transport protocol. So let me put a small example before you. What is MQTT? Okay, for example, your university or your industry is with tube lights, fans. I'm not a good artist, so please consider this as a fan. Okay, and a couple of AC. So in charge will be there, electrical in charge will be there, and AC mechanic will be there in all universities. Electrician will be there. Okay, so here when the AC goes off, message should be convert. All the devices are IoT enabled, and my sensor what I have designed, I can put my device board inside this sensors and relays and other things. So when AC goes off, the message will go to the AC mechanic as well as the in charge. When the fan goes off, the message only goes to the electrician and in charge. When tube light goes off, it goes to the electrical guy and in charge. So you can fix whom to see and whom to switch it off, or whom to work on. Okay. For example, here instruction the two things is there, like fault identified, fault cleared. Okay, the this guy in charge can able to access all the two parameters, whereas the electrician can only able to access this parameter, fault cleared. He cannot able to see fault identified. Okay, so each data can be given privileges, and each data can be diagnosed with some of with this protocol called MQTT. So let me show you how to work with MQTT. So let me put you the libraries for working with MQTT, so that you can also have a good idea on that. Python, Paco, MQTT. These are all very interesting and useful link for you as well as your students. Even for your research, you can able to start generating your own data for this. Okay, you can log in with your Google account. I think I have some program for MQTT here. Let me check. If it is there, let me try to execute it. It is a very old program actually. I don't know whether it will work or not. I didn't design it. My brother did it. Okay, I think I cannot do it right now. If time permits, I will execute and show. Okay, so this is the in-house code what I have done for coding is designed by me and login credentials is by someone else. Okay, so I cannot do things right now. So this is a client program. Push and pull program should be there. Okay, I think it is not available with me. So, but this is the links that where you can able to see and work lot many activities. I think I have sent you this board. I'll send you again so that I can close it. Behavior, purchase. I wish to show more demonstrations, but time is very lacking. I would love to show CUDA programming and advanced image processing with stereo vision cameras and what I really do in my lab, but very limited time was given to me, and only one day was allocated to me. So I couldn't help you a lot in this. So you can able to click this, see this video, how people work. Let me also copy link address to keep you. So just watch these things. At least you will have an idea what people are doing around you. I feel that you don't want to work interestingly with this, but it is not an issue to have an idea with these things. Nah? So that's what my okay. Yeah. This I should send to you. The resources what I'm sharing with you is all free. Okay, all free resources, or it does not require any license or something. Everything what I'm sharing right now is free of cost. Okay, and what I was trying to show you today's morning session. This is what MQTT is. Yeah. Evening I will show you very interesting demonstration. So have a very light meal and come back. I will be demonstrating real-time wireless sensor networks for you, along with triggering relays and other things. How to set up a Zigbee network, how to set up a scatternet, Bluetooth scatternet, how to set up Bluetooth Piconet. I don't have Bluetooth right now, but process is very similar. Okay, so I will demonstrate what is Bluetooth scatternet, what is Bluetooth Piconet and Zigbee mesh networks. I can able to demonstrate to you. First, let me check whether it works for me. Then I can promise you. What I do in my lab is I design my own modules. Okay, I don't go for the China-based boards because I am very much interested in developing indigenous boards for me. So normally the PCB board, what you are seeing here, is purely designed and manufactured in my own lab. Okay, so sensors, there is no other go. We are not good in manufacturing sensors. Uh, this board, what you're seeing, has been purely prepared by me and my students. So students gives a greater part to me, and you can see boards designed by us. And actually, this is my company product. You can soon it will come in market. And I have also designed an IoT training module. We are assembling and writing coding for this. My students are writing coding for this. We work for companies and we take industrial consultancies. Where I kept it? Yeah. Yeah. So this is our recent product. This is my company's recent product. So what this product can able to do is it can able to trigger a relay from 1 kilometer away. Okay, you can able to switch on and switch off these 4 relays even if you are 1 kilometer away from this and without any internet connectivity. I want to make this without internet connectivity. You can switch on and switch off relay, and it is a very good module, and it meets all industrial requirements. Okay, so tested and validated for industrial requirement. Okay, so in order to choose hardware for my project, you want to know basic physics ideas, how what is the temperature, what is the pressure, what is blah blah things, and how to work with these stoves. What is electrical signals, as I said before, how to know what is logic 1, what is logic 0, and other things. Yeah, a very basic programming concept like while loop, for loop, some drag and drop programming and other things. Many drag and drop programming stuffs are already available in market. Market in the sense internet, you can download and start working on it, and you can able to work with very recent technologies. Let me show you one of the journal which is working really hard on recent technologies. My internet is really low. Okay. This journal is quite impressive, and it handles a lot of good works on nano communication network. Mainly, it works on computer science stuff. Okay, please go through the mainly work on review papers. Read the review papers of this journal. It's very interesting, which has more opportunities on what to say, biology, computer science, physics, computer science, and other things. So basic architectures with computer science will be very eagerly explained, and I will show you some of the important people who are working hard in this. Does anyone know this guy? This guy is working extensively on computer science, wireless sensor network. Now he is in yeah, he is from GA Tech, Georgia Tech, GA Tech, and he owns a lab. So you can also go to that lab virtually, I think. Okay, these are all the leading giants working in this similar area, and one more country who is working extensively on. One of my friends suggested that there is an institute in Spain where you can able to mail and book slots for using their sensors. Like they have some costly sensors like 10, 20 sensors, 20,000 sensors or something. You can book a slot so that they will connect it with the cloud and you can able to gather data from those sensors. I forgot that link. If time comes, I will mail you all if you have my mail ID. Yeah, this one. These guys are the pioneer leading workers in sensors, sensor design, especially, don't think that sensors and other things are not out of computer science. Okay, the data which is coming out of sensors is only what you are using. Okay, so it is mandatory for you people to learn about sensors and do something on sensors also. Okay, so it is not like this doesn't belong to us, this doesn't belong to him, or something. It is just a science where everybody can make some good participations and do some good work. Okay. Yeah, in order to know about GPIOs, put it here. I was remembering to address something, but I forgot actually. Yeah. Where is it? Let me shut this down and I want to program this code. Trying to program this code. Okay, so I will demonstrate you now the platform as a service. Okay, how to use platform as a service. Where is the board? I don't know where I kept it. Yeah. Okay, so this is the typical board. What I'm having is an NXT board. Let me program the NXT board for you, and you should be seeing some attractive light display. So I'm not going to program it from my local system. I'm going to program it from the cloud. Okay. So now I'm using platform as a service from cloud. I think you can able to see the board. I think. It's a very poor internet connection. Hello. Can you hear me or see me? No response. Hello.
Sir, you say me, sir?
Can you hear? Yeah. Then okay.
Yes. I can see. I'm able to see the device, sir.
Yeah. Then okay. Sorry. You guys heard this word hard metal programming? How many of you know hard metal programming? This is what we normally do. Hard metal programming is very important. But even I came to know about this hard metal programming very recently, a couple of years before. Loading. Okay. Okay. So here what I have is you should be seeing this way. Okay. Yeah. So there is a link called os.embird.com. These devices can be programmed only by these compilers. Let me show you how to program it with small LED. Where is the LED? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so let me compile. So I think you can able to see the program. Import include embed.h. This is an embed program, normally C++. After this demonstration, I'll break for lunch. Then we can able to back up at 2 o'clock. Have a light meal so that you don't sleep in my session. Yeah, compile. This platform I'm using as a service so that it generates a binary file for me. And when I just put my device, it appears here, and I am going to program it simply by copy pasting the device. got downloaded. Let me program it. Okay, I think this is not working right now. I want to make some address facility. If time is there, I will demonstrate in some other Google screen is now visible. Sorry. I cannot help you with this because this is not my compiler. I cannot zoom or do something. So having one more processor here. Um, okay, until I make this demonstration ready, I can get questions from you. Do you have any questions? Hello. It takes some time. If it is a real time hands-on session, you can able to see the difficulty what I'm facing, and it is really difficult to make some demonstrations from remote end, that too in a very fast means. Okay, I hope you all know these difficulties.
I request the participants, if
Yeah.
you have any questions, you can raise by unmuting your mic.
Hello. I'd be happy if I'm receiving questions, or else I feel that nobody has listened to my class. Was it interesting to you?
Yeah, very much interesting.
The voice was not clear.
It is very much interesting, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you. Let me, do you have any queries like where to start learning this, or start learning these things is quite very easy. Like you have many internet stuff, and presently you have Coursera and other things. In order to masterize yourself, and in order to make a guaranteed output, I can able to come and give some real-time hardware sessions for your students as well as for faculties. I'm very much interested to work with you people in your institute. I'm also, if you are really interested to make fitting program, but it is not working. Anything else? Please start your queries. Nice, informative. Thank you, guys. If I am missing something, and if you want to learn something on real time, you can let me know, so that if it is possible, I can concentrate in the afternoon session. What?
Sir, if they have no questions, you can do one thing, sir. Just you can conclude the important things what we have covered in the 2 sessions, sir, for another 5 minutes.
Okay. The important conclusion is something like many people worry about that hardware or something. Okay, hardware is very easy. That's what I'm trying to say, you guys. Very easy, and you can create a habit of purchasing new equipments and other things, and it's not so costly actually. Something like 1,000 or 2,000 rupees it would cost. Okay. So you purchase new components and start you doing new projects with new boards, new available boards in the market. Like rather than going for classical Arduino based or something like Raspberry Pi based, you can purchase new boards like Jetson Nano, NXT based board, so that your project outcome will be very useful to any industries. Not with only it's a lab based or only for mark's sake, you don't develop any project. Okay, so you concentrate in such a way that the project end product will becomes a product to some company. That is a real achievement for anyone. Na? So that is what I'm trying to say. Here, what you want to do is make some good products out of your projects that you are ready. So I do a lot of products from my project, so that it makes more beneficiary to my company, as well as my patents, as well as for my publications. Okay. So this is a blog. You can able to see these products are designed by my own lab.
Sir, even in the yesterday session, many of the participants want to know something about this Industry 4.0, what it means, and how we can satisfy the constraints of this Industry 4.0.
Okay, I have a good presentation. I want to give a good presentation for today afternoon on Industry 4.0.
Okay.
But planned. I'll show. Okay, so Industry 4.0 possible opportunities, challenges, and how to make it work with the industries. That's what I'm going to teach you in this afternoon session. If you are
Okay, sir, we will have it in the afternoon, no problem.
okay. So next thing is, this is my company. Okay, am I missing anything? Yeah, necessary softwares that I used. You want to know PuTTY, VNC Viewer. All these things are available for mobile also. Mobile application is also available. These are all the softwares what I have used. And just please see about this software and come after lunch. XCTU.
Sir,
Okay.
they are all free software or?
All the things what I'm saying is entirely free. You don't want to pay even a penny.
Okay, sir.
os.embed.com. Many people get feared out when it comes to hardware or something. People always do research on cleaning the data. So what my concept is, before cleaning data, if the data what is coming is really clean, there is no concept of cleaning the data. I think you can understand what I'm saying. So concentrate on creating a good data rather than focusing more on cleaning the data. And today afternoon we will see how to work on sensor reliability, fault tolerant, and some machine learning concepts, if possible, on how to clean the data and how to identify fault on such data. Okay, so we break for lunch.
Yes,
Then
sir.
we start at what time, sir? 2 o'clock, na?
Yes, sir. 2:30, sir. 2:30.
1.5 hours we have. Huh? Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
Sir, we give a short conclude note of 2 sessions, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
A short conclude note is something like information
Actually, vote of thanks for the 2 sessions.
to give. Huh? Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, correct, sir. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There is no formality between what is this?
Yes, yes. Sir, it gives me immense pleasure in proposing the thanks for the past two session. Mr. G.R. Kanaga Chidambaresan sir gave us a wonderful session on this IoT with Azure. Really, it helped us, the researchers, to go further in their research work. Right. Then I thank the Mr. G.R. Kanaga Chidambaresan sir for giving us the demo, mostly the two sessions with demo part. We expect the demo in the evening only, but sir has started demo right from the technical session 1. It is really amazing. All the things what he has feed us is really helpful to carry out our research work further. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you. Thank you once again for giving me an opportunity to interact with you all people. I am expecting a good, nice collaborations and articles and publication work with you guys, and we'll meet at the after lunch. Thank you.
We expect all the participants to rejoin to the technical session 3 of day 4 sharply by 2:25 p.m. Thank you.
Satya sir.
Yes.
Sir, ஒரே ஒரு feedback, attendance ஒன்னு தான் கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க ரெண்டு செஷனுக்கு.
Sir, we will send you the sir. Actually attendance link for technical session 2 we will send it shortly, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.